Alright, so welcome back to another video. One more day, one more sleep, and we're in the Premier League against Bournemouth. I'll just say that one more time. The Premier League against Bournemouth. I still can't quite believe it's happening, but when I see us tomorrow night on Match of the Day, it might all start to sink in, because unfortunately I can't get a ticket because, as I said yesterday, they are like gold dust. But today we're going to be doing the Premier League predictions. Now, this is a very controversial video. There are some fans of other clubs who watch these videos, I imagine. Might not be best pleased about where I've put your team, but it's just an opinion. You can all laugh at me in 8-9 months' time when I get every single one wrong. But without further ado, I've got them all written down here. It didn't take me that long, so I might have made some mistakes. I don't know every single signing for every single club, but the majority I do. So we'll start with Man City. Top of the league. I think they'll win it at a bit of a canter this year. I don't think it'll be as close. Not sure why that's making a noise. Don't think it'll be as close. Liverpool haven't really strengthened. They sound like 16, 15-year-old lad from Fulham for a fair whack, considering he's a young lad. But Man City have signed Rodri for 60, 70 million, whatever it was. And I don't think that Liverpool will quite reach the heights they did last season. Man City, they're not going to get complacent under Guardiola. He's an absolute machine. He won't relent. He won't let them off. I expect Man City to win it by between 7 and 10 points. So moving on to Liverpool, who are obviously next. I think they'll come second. They are by far and away the second best team. There's top two that are they're in a league of their own, really. It's a top two, then like a bottom like 4 or 5, which I'll go on to mention. And then there's the best of the rest, really. And then you've got the few clubs, well, not really few clubs. There's a lot of clubs that could get relegated this year. Pretty much any of the bottom half, or what I've put as the bottom half, could get relegated. So Liverpool second, not really much to be said about that. They're just the second best side, in my opinion. Now this is where it gets really interesting. The top two are pretty much, they're pretty much givens. In either order, it's going to be Liverpool, Man City, or Man City, Liverpool, unless we get a massive shock. Third place, I've got Tottenham. Now, Tottenham, again, haven't really strengthened massively. There was rumours about Dybala coming, never quite happened. There were rumours about him going to Man U, and that never happened either. But Tottenham with Harry Kane are a force to be reckoned with. Pochettino is such a good manager. I think they'll finish third by quite a distance. Now Arsenal have strengthened, as I'll go on to mention, in a short while, but Tottenham, they're consistently third. They are, and I can't see any difference this year. Now fourth place has changed. It's changed yesterday because Arsenal signed David Luiz, and this didn't happen yesterday, but they signed Pepe. They've signed some good players this year. They have signed some good players. Signed that Tierney from Celtic. And they've got a decent squad. That front 3-4, whatever they play with, a double pivot and the 3 attacking midfielders or wingers, whatever you want to call them, like Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe off the side, Özil behind. If he does indeed decide to turn up this year, that is a quality, absolutely quality front line. Now defensively, there's been issues, there's been questions. They've signed David Luiz, which I think makes any defensive line worse. Now Arsenal fans seem to be loving this, but it might be better than Mustafi, and fair play for that, but he's not a defender. He's so much better as a defensive midfielder because he's got the discipline of a snail. So that was Arsenal fourth, if you didn't realise. Fifth place, Manchester United. Now, this really could go either way. This is the one I could get wrong the most, if that's even correct vocabulary. Man United have signed big. They've signed Harry Maguire. They've not got the Bruno Fernandes or Dybala, whoever they wanted. Lukaku's gone out the other end. So they're pretty much as they were. Granted, they've not got Phil Jones and Chris Smalling at centre-half anymore, which is definitely a positive. They've got Wan-Bissaka. They've strengthened the area that needed strengthening the most, and for that, you can't really blame them. They've got Maguire, they've got Wan-Bissaka, as I've said. De Gea will hopefully remember his hands this season. So defensively, they'll be a much better unit. But as far as finishing in the top 4, the other teams are just better. They just are. Arsenal would have been, I would have put Man United 4th, had Arsenal not signed Pepe and who's the other guy who signed Tierney as well. If they hadn't signed them, then I would have swapped places. But 5th place for Man United, they could finish 12th. They could finish 3rd. Anywhere between 3rd and 10th is a realistic position for Man United this season. They've spent big on Maguire. He's not worth that much, but a player or anything in life is worth as much as what someone is willing to spend. And if someone's willing to spend 85 million because they've got Phil Jones who can't play football at centre-half, then that's all well and good. And if you've got Ashley Young at right back, then just spend anything on Wan-Bissaka. I don't really care. Just get rid of him. So 6th place is going to be... No, it's not Chelsea. It's not. I'm going for a bit of a controversial... It's very controversial. It's probably wrong. It just is. We're going for Wolves in 6th place. Now Wolves are strengthened again. And they did well last season. They were definitely the best of the rest. I don't know if they even finished 7th, but they were, in my opinion, the best of the rest. And I can't see anything really changing. Now, I know people have like 1st, 2nd, 3rd season syndromes or whatever. I can't see that happening. They've got a very good squad. They've kept all of Ruben Neves. They've signed that Raul Jimenez on a permanent, I'm pretty sure. And I think they'll do it. I think they'll finish 6th. Now, injuries. They haven't got a huge, massive squad. That could play a part. But 6th place, purely because I think Chelsea will be that bad. So obviously in 7th place, they're not going to do horrendously, I don't think. Chelsea, 7th place, which would be a massive turn up for the Bucks. Frank Lampard, I don't rate him. He had a derby side last season that did 1 point worse than the previous manager, which I think might have been Gary Rowett, although that could be wrong. And everybody's like praising him to the hilt. He did worse than the previous manager, and he... Like, just imagine that any other manager, apart from Frank Lampard, did that. He'd be on the verge of being sacked, not get the Chelsea job. He did worse. He didn't do better. I'm at a loss for words, really. I don't understand how that has even come about or even happened. So Chelsea 7th, they're under a transfer ban. They've got rid of David Luiz, who that's probably a good thing. They've lost Hazard, who was a massive, massive player. So I don't really see where they can go. If they finish top 4, but they're not. I was going to say I will like do something, but it's just not going to happen. Now I'll clump the next 3 together. We've got Leicester, Everton and West Ham. In that order, it could be in any order. They've all strengthened, especially West Ham. Now I know we're not a massive fan of West Ham, but they've made some good signings. They have. Leicester have brought in Tielemans, and who was the other one? Everton have signed big as well. They've signed like Moise Kean from Juventus. They've signed Iwobi from Arsenal, and I'm not a massive fan of Iwobi, but he strengthens Everton. So we'll have to wait and see. But those 3, Leicester 8th, Everton 9th, West Ham 10th, and now we're on to the bottom half. 11th, we're going to go for Watford, which is pretty self-explanatory. I don't know enough to make a massive comment on that. We're just going to leave it at that. Southampton, people might be expecting Southampton to finish 12th. Now, they were pretty horrendous last season, but when, I think his name's Hassan Hootel, something along those lines, when he came in, their form went... I think they'll do well this season. They've signed Che Adams, now unproven in the Premier League, similar to McBurney, but I rate him. I think he'll do well. I think he'll score at least 10 goals, which, if you're scoring 10 goals in the Premier League, you're pretty much safe. You've got a striker that's going to score that, unless you're just horrific defensively. I think they'll be fine. I think they're a far better side than what last season's showing would portray. 13th and 14th, we're going Bournemouth and Burnley. Now both sides have strengthened slightly. Burnley, they've got Sean Dyche. If they didn't have Sean Dyche, I would put them probably near the bottom 3, or nearer to the bottom 3. And then who's the other one? I forgot already. Bournemouth, they are now an established Premier League club. They've got internationals all over the field. David Brooks is a fantastic player, as we all know. Callum Wilson, Josh King up front. We're in for a tough test on Saturday. We are. If we can put up a good showing against them, then I'll feel more confident. Although it's one game. You can't judge a season on one game. So yeah, that's where I'm going to put them to. They're not world beaters, but the solid Premier League contenders. Not for the title, but just contenders in general. So on to the bottom 6, the relegation candidates. Now, you might be aware, not mentioned us yet because I think we will be a relegation candidate. I've not mentioned Villa and I've not mentioned Norwich. All 3 I think will be relegation candidates, despite Villa spending what I can only imagine is probably like £500 million at this point. I mean, I think it's like 150 million, something like that. Absolutely mental. People are saying they're going to do a Fulham. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I have put Villa in, I think this is 15th place. Is it 15th place? It is 15th place. Yeah, the money they've spent, the players they've brought in are good. Whether they'll gel together, they could finish bottom, quite feasibly finish bottom. They were like 13th, like halfway through last season. They were nowhere. They had a big spike in form, and they somehow made a run to the playoffs and just battered everybody that were in front of them. Not in the playoffs, they lost a game, I think, did they? Possibly. But they basically battered everyone for the last like half of the season. So the form might continue. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And then following Villa, we have got Newcastle. Now Newcastle, they've got Steve Bruce. If they had Rafa Benitez, they'd be. I put them far higher. They brought in that Joel Linton guy, and I think I'm not even checked, but I'm pretty sure they brought Andy Carroll back. So they've not got a striker. Always injured. But I think they'll just about stay up. They've got Premier League quality. They've let go of Perez. They could be one that feasibly do finish in the bottom three. I can see that definitely happening. I think we will probably be a better side than Newcastle this season. But I mean, they've just got better personnel in terms of, well, they have. So I'm going to put them, I think I've put them 16th. Now 17th, we've got Sheffield United. Now, don't have to say much about this one. It is a bit of a guess. It is. We don't know how we're going to do. We've got nothing to base off our Premier League performance last season because we weren't here. We've signed well. We've spent a lot of money. For us especially. How it'll work, we have no idea. We don't know. We'll have to perform well at home. We'll have to get a couple of results against the lesser sides away. But with Chris Wilder, I am confident. Any other manager, and I would probably put us in the bottom three. Chris Wilder, I expect us to finish between 14th and 18th. 18th being relegated, 14th being like an amazing season. Somewhere between there is where I think we'll be. Now for the bottom three, we have got, if you can realise the teams I've missed out, Palace, 18th. They've got Zaha, who is basically their only good player. Batshuayi's gone back to Chelsea as far as I'm aware. They've not really signed anyone, like a world beater, someone that's going to improve them massively. I think it's a matter of time. They are slowly going down the table. If Zaha gets injured as well, I think they're nailed on for the bottom three. 19, Brighton. They've signed that guy from, is it Bristol City, Webster, or whatever? They've got a good defensive line, they just can't score goals. Now, I don't really know what Brighton have brought in. They might have brought somebody in who's going to score 20 a season, but I very much doubt it. And then bottom of the pile, we've gone Norwich. Now, this is a little bit controversial because they did so well last season. They were the best in the Championship, but they've not strengthened at all. Now, not strengthening is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a good thing. They've got some very good players in Pukki and Buendia, but as with anyone who comes over, we don't know how they'll adapt to the Premier League. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I feel like I always say we'll have to wait and see because we're going to have to do exactly that. But that is my prediction. Just to wrap up, I'll go through them one more time if my phone will turn on. We've got Man City, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal as the top four. Man United and Wolves in the Europa League places. Then we've got Chelsea, Leicester, Everton and West Ham making up the top 10. Watford, Southampton and Bournemouth from 11th to 13th. Burnley, Villa and Newcastle. And then Sheffield United just escaping relegation in 17th place with the bottom three and into the Championship. Go Palace, Brighton and Norwich. Now let me know what you think about them. I'm almost certain, well, you're not going to have the exact same. It would be incredibly unlikely, so let me know about that. And considering I've put Chelsea 7th, you're going to have a very different league position predictor, if that's what you want to call it. But anyway, thank you for watching. Today might be the largest Super Bladesman. We'll have to wait and see how much work I get done. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you next time.